Welcome to the PLT podcast, everybody. The amazing Vicky Patterson. Woo!
Oh, thank you, Nat. Thanks for having us.
I always do this huge clap, like as if we're in this big audience. And really, the reality is, babes, it's just me and you. There is a couple of production team. Yeah, where was your clap, guys? Where was it?
Obviously not Vicky Patterson fans, you pack of bastards.
I'll be having words with them after Vicky. I'll be having words with them.
Heads are going to roll, aren't they? Heads are going to roll, Nat.
Oh, Vicky, thank you so much for joining us. I'm crying already. I've been so excited about today. I'm just going to have such a laugh. But literally, here's me crying already. No, honestly, thank you so much for coming on.
You're so welcome. It's my absolute pleasure. It feels so lovely to wear the other hat for a change. Normally when I sit down to a podcast, I'm a little bit stressed. I feel the pressure of trying to be like hostess with the mostess, which I'm sure you're feeling a little bit now. Like you want to be funny, you want to drive the narrative, you've got certain questions you need to ask. So when I'm a guest, I just get to sit back, relax and be my little weird self. So I'm really excited and thank you so much for asking me.
Oh, absolutely no pressure on me now, Vicky. I mean, I wasn't sweating, but I am now. Bloody hell, honestly. The nerves have kicked in.
Don't even think about it.
I've been honestly so excited. I know we're going to have so much fun. You look amazing, by the way. I'm obsessed with this new hairstyle. I feel like this is the first I've seen of it.
So this is the first anyone has seen of it. And I mean, I feel like you guys are going to get hit with such a sassy letter from my agent being like, when does this go out? You can't release it before then. So I'm just warning you that is coming.
Oh, that's fine.
It's slowly going blonde for the summer.
It is stunning. It's like, I think it's my favourite hairstyle you've ever had. And the short, I just feel like it's got this nice little edgy, cool vibe to it. The colour's stunning.
I will come on this podcast again. It is good for my ego.
That's what I'm here for, babes. That's what I'm here for. But no, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. You are looking amazing. And on that topic today, we kind of wanted to start by talking a little bit about body image and body positivity. So going straight into it, I read recently that you've been kind of dieting on and off from the age of 13, which I guess so many females can relate to, but you've kind of given up and you're the happiest you've ever been. So just tell us a little bit about that, please.
Do you know what, mate? I think that was from like an Instagram post, and it could possibly even potentially be earlier than 13. Like I remember always I'm naturally super curvy. Like every woman in my family is, like big boobs, big bum, like that, big personalities.
Dream body to me, dream body. I'd kill for a big bum and big boobs.
I mean, I don't mean like Kim K. I sort of mean just like really wide. Like my boyfriend calls it a rectangle. It's not a great.
I saw that on your story or something the other day. Your boyfriend calling it a rectangle. I'm like, what were you trying to achieve there, boyfriend? Come on.
All he achieved was a night on the sofa, the little bastard. But no, I think when you're younger, you just want to look like everybody else. Like you're so cripplingly insecure. Like puberty is rough. Like it affects us all at different ages, and you just want to be the same as everybody else. You want to look like your friends, don't you? Which is madness, because when we get older, we strive for individuality and love being unique, and all the things we once hated when we were younger, we sort of really come to accept, if not even love. And that's definitely what's happened for me. Like me teens, I went through all the normal stuff, just wanting to look like everybody else and hated all my curves and things, and did fatty diets and obsessively exercised and everything. But I suppose it really kind of hit home in my 20s when I was thrust into the spotlight, so to speak. I just didn't love me curves. I didn't accept who I was at all. I constantly was striving for these unrealistic images of perfection that it wasn't social media then. Back then for me, it was magazines, it was TV. That's what you compared yourself to. And I never really felt good enough. I never quite measured up. And it just led to like my 20s being so racked with self-doubt. And even though I might have seemed like a really confident person, I think I kind of missed out on a lot of stuff because I was always so worried about what I look like, which now I'm in my 30s just feels like such a fucking waste of time.
Yeah.
Like I think I credit this like huge epiphany to being 30, a lot to lockdown and like realizing like what is just important in life, and being a perfect size 8 or perfect size 10 or whatever is just not what's important. Being healthy, being happy, living your life to the fullest, being kind, all of these things should be so much more important to you and have so much more gravity. So yeah, I honestly, mate, have really turned over a new leaf since I've got that little bit older, and it's dead liberating. It's so lovely to be able to think, I've got more to offer than just a number on a scale.
Exactly.
And you best believe I'm going to stop fucking fixating on it. So yeah, big changes over here at VPHQ, and she's all the squishier and happier for it.
You look amazing. I think one of the things that, you know, when I was kind of going through the notes for this, and it said, you know, that you'd kind of started dieting at 13 years old. When I sit and read that, I'm like, oh, that's shocking. But then as a female, like I think about my own experience, and I think no matter what body shape, size you are, at some point in your life as a female, I definitely believe, and I can only speak for females because, that's what I am. But at some point in your life, you've gone through this dieting trend, and I do feel like, it impacts you in different ways. But I definitely think growing up, I can relate to wanting to diet because it was what the magazines were telling you to do, or like you say, wanting to look like a certain somebody in a magazine. I think that is a huge thing, and especially now, social media is such a huge thing that the younger generation of today have that to look up to. And unfortunately, there is a lot of unrealistic beauty standards out there. And it's so damaging. But like, do you think now in magazines, so like, let's take social media out of the equation for a second. Do you think now kind of like magazines and in the media, we have seen a change in kind of what we used to be shown when we were younger?
So I felt like, definitely, like, I feel like magazines, TV, all sorts of huge platforms have had no choice but to diversify. They have been under immense pressure from the general public to be more versatile, to show a better representation of the general public. Like, for a while, we were just bombarded with unrealistic gorgeousness all the time. And don't get me wrong, like, I love nothing more than to see a gorgeous woman going and getting it and doing what she wants with her life. But like, there's not just one way to be gorgeous.
There's not just one type of woman. There's not one type of person.
Exactly. There is not just one image that is beautiful. Like, I always say, like, a sunset is beautiful, but so is a snowflake, and they look nothing alike. So by that logic, like, women can be whatever they want to be and still be considered beautiful as long as they own who they are. And I think it's so refreshing that now we are seeing a broader spectrum of beauty and women and people in general across social media, across magazines, across TV. And I don't think it's been something that has happened organically. I do think there's been pressure from the general public, like, because we want to see ourselves represented on TV. We want to hear a Geordie voice. We want to see a beautiful dark-skinned woman. We want to see a curvy fella. Like, we want to see all of these things, and why shouldn't we? So I think there's change, and it's definitely for the better. I think it's long overdue, and I think we could still see some more.
100%.
I think social media is at the forefront of it. I think there's some great accounts on social media that I love to follow of women who really just own their body shapes and are sort of setting a great example for young lasses that you don't have to look a certain way, you don't have to be super skinny, or you don't have, do you know what I mean? Like, whatever you look like is super acceptable and great. But I just want to see more of that, I suppose.
100%.
I'm greedy.
100%.
I'm greedy.
No, we need to be greedy, Vicky. We've got to ask for this, because I think, like you say, it's been too damaging for too long. And like you say, I think we're in a similar age bracket where I kind of relate to your circumstance growing up in terms of like the way we looked at the media and the way women were represented in the media. And we were always pipped against. It was always pipped against, who wore it better. And it was always personal. And, who was the sexiest.
Do you remember those?
Do you like every magazine? It was always too, like, anytime there was an award show, like, I remember looking up to the likes of like Fern Cotton and Holly Willoughby when, I was really, really young, and them two were always pipped against each other for me, and I never ever got it. Like, I was like, obviously at that age, you don't question it because you don't know any better. But then when you get older and as you reflect, it's just crazy. And even still now, it does still happen. But luckily not to the same kind of extent.
Yeah, it's such a good point, Nat. Like, you don't realize how incredibly detrimental those seemingly innocent magazine articles are, because they are teaching young lasses, oh, you're not friends with the girls in your industry, or you're not friends with the girls at work. You're in competition with them.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Like, we're all in this together. Like, we are women. It's difficult enough in life without competing with each other as well. Like, we should be lifting each other up and nurturing each other, supporting each other, and all the rest of it. So no, it's madness. But you're so right that is exactly what those magazine articles taught were, and it's so damaging. It's lovely now to see this kind of like breakaway movement on social media, which seems to be suggesting we are all in this together, and you do rise by like lifting others and fixing each other's crowns and all the rest of it. I could go all day.
I know.
In fact, there's little quotes all around the flat that remind me
I love
of what
that.
type of woman I want to be.
And I think that's the thing. I think, you know, it's great to see you kind of, Vicky, saying, you know, you've come into your 30s and you've really found yourself, and, you know, you're no longer, you know, whatever it is, whether it's counting the calories or you're checking the scales and things. But I think so many people do really struggle with that. And you kind of touched on it before, but I wondered, was there like a pinnacle moment that you were like, I can't do this anymore, I don't want it? You know, obviously we're never going to be happy 24/7. I think we mentioned before, that's just impossible, babes. But like, how did you kind of transition from this dieting lifestyle that you had to accepting your body and really, you know, loving your body?
So there's no secret, because if there was, like, being the little opportunist that I am, I would bottle it and fucking sell it.
Yes.
But
people would buy it, babes. I'd be there buying it. We'd all be there buying it, queuing up.
She's retiring by the time she's 40, this one. Like, there's no shame in her game. So no, I think there's no secret to it. Like, you have to go through your 20s, I think, feeling a little like you learn about yourself. That's the decade where you grow, you have fun, you make mistakes, and please don't ever overlook the importance of mistakes, because like, at the time, God, I can't tell you how many tears I shed over like a broken heart, or a bad boyfriend, or a silly career decision, or like a bad interview. Like, I lay in bed crying, but actually in retrospect, like, you need them. Those pitfalls will teach you things that mountaintops never will, and you need them in order to grow and become better. So yeah, don't run away from mistakes and failures and stuff in your 20s, because that's what that decade is absolutely for. Finding yourself, learning about yourself, growing, evolving. And I kind of think when you hit your 30s, you sort of think, I know a bit who I am now. Yeah. Like, I had to properly start fresh in my 30s. Like, I was meant to be married. Honestly, I expected to have kids by now. I thought I'd just have it all figured out. And I was definitely on that trajectory for a while. And I hit like 31 and all of that sort of fell apart for the better.
Yeah,
like,
now
it was
that.
all for the better. But yeah, I was faced with kind of like this moment where it was like, everything I thought was going to happen hasn't. And I'm not in the place I thought I was going to be. I'm not with the person I thought I was going to be with. Like, I'm just a bit lost. And I think that for me was a really pivotal moment. Like, my whole life had to fall apart for us to put it back together again and realize, like, it wasn't the end of the world. Like, I was stressing about the wrong things. Like, I was stressing about the way I looked, stressing about trying to be the same shape as everyone else. I was stressing about being married and having kids and rushing this journey with the wrong person just because I wanted to have the things
that you thought
that everyone else
you
had.
Think you're meant to have by that stage.
Yeah. Like, you are so convinced, like, as a woman, that you have to have your whole life figured out by the time you're 30, and it's bollocks. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, getting married at 40 is so beautiful, and having kids at 45 is a blessing. Like, working out what you want to do with your career at 50 years old, mate. Like, that's amazing. Like, I remember reading somewhere that Alan Rickman, he played Professor Snape in the Harry Potter films, as well as loads of other amazing roles. I'm just a big Harry Potter fan, but he didn't get his first role in a film till he was 39.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So I think bearing all of that in mind, I think that was kind of probably what all hit me in my early 30s, was like, I've spent too long punishing myself because I don't look like everybody else. And my body's not going to ever be really skinny. And I've spent too much time missing out, and I've spent too much time trying to have it all figured out when actually the beauty isn't the end goal, it's getting there. So I just stopped putting so much pressure on myself and accepted me lumps and bumps, and accepted that maybe I wasn't going to be married and have kids by the time I was whatever age. And that's when I started really having fun and really liking myself as well. Like, you just never underestimate the niceness of not beating yourself up every day, of not comparing yourself, because comparison truly is the thief of joy. Like, just own what you've got. We're all fabulously flawed, and that's the beauty of it. So yeah, mate, 30s for me, huge epiphany decade, and only 33 now, so really excited to see what the rest's coming in fucking store.
It's so exciting to hear you say that, because I think, like, so many people, I mean, from the beginning, what you kind of said there about as women, I think as girls especially, we look to, you know, what's next. It's always what's next, and we never really focus on what's the right now. And I think that COVID and kind of this pandemic that we've gone through has been, for me especially, a huge eye-opener to really realizing what you've got in the moment, and not always striving for that next goal, and not always worrying about, you know, whether your jeans fit you or whatever, you know, being happy and healthy. And I mean, somebody said something to me in a podcast, I think it was in a podcast not long ago, and they said, you know, this body has got me through a pandemic, so why would I beat it up about looking a certain kind of way? Like, literally, your body's a vessel, and it's managed to get you through one of the worst times we've all experienced. Do you know what I mean? Like, one of the most unprecedented times we've kind of gone through as a world. So I think women put a huge pressure on themselves, and I think especially, I'm 29, Vicky, so I'm at that stage now where lots of my friends are having babies, they're getting married, and I'm like, I'm so far away from that. And sometimes I get a bit like, oh, like, should I be doing it? But I'm like, you know, I've just got to trust the process. If I'm going to be 40 or 50, it's fine. You better think, no, I'll look good in that as a 50-year-old in my dress. I don't care, whatever. Like, it's not even in my mind, but it is so hard to kind of make yourself feel like that. But as well, something you said there, you said, you know, really liking yourself. I think that is such a huge thing, because so many people unfortunately don't.
And it's not an easy task. No. Like, Christ, like, I must sound so smug, but like, honestly, like, I don't get out of bed in the morning and look in the mirror and think, like, you're looking good. Like, I am not that I'm not that person. Like, God, I wish I was that person. Like, it's what we all should be striving for, right? But we're women, and we are not prone to looking in the mirror and zoning in on the things that we maybe don't like as much about ourselves. But I did a post about it really recently where I just said, like, wouldn't it be amazing if, rather than like tearing ourselves down first thing in the morning, or looking in the mirror and pulling out the things we maybe don't like about ourselves, we complimented ourselves. We told ourselves that we are strong and we are capable and we are powerful. And exactly like you say, this body that I had spent 20 years of my life pulling apart and hating and picking faults with has got me this far. It is incredible what it is capable of, and I am proud of myself. Like, what if that was what we told ourselves every morning? You're strong and capable, and when you shine like that as well, like, I truly believe this, like, you give other people the opportunity to shine too. So when you're not like, so riddled with self-doubt and dragging yourself down, you tell yourself, you know, I'm gonna have a great day. And I'm going to look good today. And I'm going to be nice to everybody. Like, and you do. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So all those things start to happen, and you rub off on other people. Like, your smile is infectious. Your mood in the workplace picks up. And before you know it, like, your light has lit up everybody. Like, we're impressive, mate. I think women are fucking incredible. And I'm sorry, it sounds like I'm giving men a raw deal here. I'm not. I'm a girl, and I'm very proud to be one. So I just think, like, we're so impressive, and it's about time we started owning that power. And stop being afraid of what we were capable of, and stop holding ourselves back. That's what we do. We hold ourselves with
fear as well, and that's the thing. I think something you said there as well. I know we've touched on it, but somebody once said to me about, you know, I believe in, like, affirmations. Before I do something, so say whether it's a podcast or whatever, if there's something I feel a bit scared about, I got into this new routine of looking at myself in the mirror, and it feels a bit silly, but I know it works, and just telling myself in the mirror that I can do it. And like, if
Yeah.
if somebody had told me to do that 2 years ago, I'd been like, oh no, like, oh God. But it
Yeah,
really
but
helps
you weren't
me.
ready for
But I
it
wasn't
then,
ready for
babe.
it.
Like,
That's
you
it.
weren't
That's
ready.
it. And I think that the way you speak to yourself, like when you say these things out loud, your body really listens to you. Like I've really found that, like if you're going to tell yourself, well, you look like shit today, or you've put on weight and whatever, that is so negative and like drains your energy. Yeah, and and so I think it's really, really important that we do learn, and like you say, it is difficult. But then seeing people like yourself, Vicky, on social media showing, two sides of the scale. I think the other day you did a post after Easter, and you looked like you had the best Easter. I mean, I wanted to be there on that booze hunt, babes. That's my kind of Easter egg hunt.
Yes, Nat. Oh, you are welcome to next year's Easter egg
I'll be
hunt.
there with bells and whistles hunt, absolutely. But that's it. You'd kind of, you looked absolutely gorgeous. You had a gorgeous dress on, your hair was done, your makeup was done, you looked fantastic. And then I think you compared it to the next morning,
The day after.
where you still looked absolutely stunning, but it was the day after you were cleaning up.
Liar.
No, you did. You look great. But this is the thing, and I think, doing that and having such a huge platform that you do is incredible, and it sets such a good example, and it really will help people.
Thank you, mate. Like, I mean, that whole Insta versus reality thing was kind of born out of I suppose, like, just myself being a little bit sick of the perfection on social media. I myself don't look like this every day. Like, I know I don't.
I
like,
definitely don't.
yeah,
I've definitely never got this much
like,
makeup on, guys.
yeah, you may neither, babe. Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I think throughout lockdown in particular, like, we all had a lot more time on our hands, and social media, like, became, I think, everybody's seriously guilty pleasure. And we were scrolling mindlessly a lot more. And I became really, I suppose, quite addicted to providing wholesome content for people in a time when we were struggling to get any sort of positivity and wholesomeness anywhere else, if that makes sense. Like, it's all very well and good, like posting a beautiful throwback picture of yourself on a beach. Like, you get a sense of validation. Loads of people tell you how nice your body is. Like, it's lovely to feel like that every once in a while, and I'm not knocking it. But what value does that hold for other people? Like, are you using your platform responsibly? Like, I don't think so. So for me, I like to endeavor to always have a balance. So yes, glam sexy beach pics, because they make me feel nice, but also like the reality of life. And the reality of the last 12 months has been that we've been going through a global pandemic, not a fucking productivity contest, everybody. So just chill real quick. And some days are good and some days are bad. Some days I feel super grateful that I've got a lovely boyfriend and a nice flat and me health and I love my job. Other days I miss me mum, and I'll probably cry, sorry. I miss me little niece and me sister and me family so much. And I'm so scared about everybody's jobs and everything that I can't get out of bed. And I don't feel like putting makeup on. And I don't feel like putting my best foot forward. And actually, that has been a reality for a lot of people over the last 12 months. And I think, had you not had those down days, had you not had those moments of self-doubt and darkness, then you're not human. So I just wanted to show people who are potentially struggling at the moment that they're not alone, that we all are going through light and shade. That's life at the end of the day, and that they don't need to beat themselves up if they haven't made banana bread, done a virtual Zoom, learned to play the cello, took a Latin lesson, and
done a whole
degree. Nothing but quinoa and salmon. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I kind of just wanted, sorry, I really do miss me family. So I think it was kind of all born from that, I suppose. And I think it's got real legs. Like, I absolutely love doing them. I think now if someone tries to pap me looking bad, I think, but
I've done it already.
I'm one step ahead of you, mate. Everybody's seen us this morning. So yeah, fuck off with your camera.
Tell them.
So I think, I think it's kind of here to stay in that. And I received such nice feedback from it. And I kind of wish when I was younger, there was more pictures of people without makeup.
Exactly.
And just their pages around, so I didn't feel the need to be perfect all the time. That's just my point.
And like I say, I think it's so refreshing and relatable. And, don't apologize for getting upset there. I think everybody right now listening will be able to relate to you in some way. Like I said, this global pandemic's been hard in a million ways to so many different people, no matter what kind of, life you come from or whatever. It's been completely unprecedented. I think it's great what you do on social media, and I think it's definitely something, and a lot of people are following suit, and I think it's great to see. I even noticed recently people are doing a lot of obviously we all like a filter when we're feeling not great.
Yeah.
I will 100% say I'm definitely guilty to that, but I've seen so many of these amazing posts where people are showing, like, especially like makeup artists and girls are showing, like makeup influencers, should I say, are showing like one half of your face with a filter on and one half without. And I'm like, wow. And it's honestly encouraging me. I am quite bad at using filters. It's encouraging me, and I don't have a huge platform like you, but to not use a filter and I'm not saying I do it every day, because some days I just want one. I'm like, come on, save me.
Yeah.
But it's so nice to see these changes being made. And I think it is like a domino effect of the kind of things you're doing, and it just snowballing. Hopefully we're going to see growth.
It's super progressive. And like, I love that, because I do think social media has the potential to be used as a platform for such positive change.
Yeah.
It's frustrating that people can often use it for negative things. But yeah, I've seen those posts you're talking about, and I really want to do a post about it, but it's fine. I'm exactly like you. If I'm going to put a post up, I want the narrative to be really authentic and honest. And actually, I love filters. I feel like it's a really difficult one for me to try and articulate. Like, what I want to say is, I think filters are fine as long as you don't become addicted to seeing yourself only like that. Like, realize that I think if you use them too much, when you do see your natural visage, which occasionally has blemishes, which occasionally can have dark circles under the eyes, I don't know, maybe we've got little wrinkles, you don't love that normal version of yourself. And I think that's the danger. So filters are fun for once in a while. We like to play around. I have found this one with freckles and elf ears. That's my favorite at the moment.
Love freckles.
So yeah, as long as you use them, I think sparingly and wisely, and understand that actually you're beautiful without them too, I think they're fine. So no, I'm all for showing all your warts and all side on social media. I think it's super important that we understand we are women in our 20s, 30s, but there's also lasses as young as like 10 years old on there.
That's wild, isn't it?
It's scary. And I am so grateful that was not my generation, because I wouldn't want to have to deal with all that pressure as well. It truly terrifies us, thinking that there's young lasses on TikTok seeing all these perfect bodies, and young lasses on social media seeing all these perfect relationships, and they think that is the norm. It's difficult to love your normal when everyone else seems perfect. And I think we have to be very mindful of that, and always put out authentic versions of ourselves on social media if you do have a platform.
I think you definitely do that very well, Vicky, and I know that a lot of people, I appreciate that, and I think a lot of people will appreciate that. And like I say, it's important, and it's great to see that people like yourself are out there making some, even if it's small changes. Like you say, a lot of people use Instagram purely as a highlight reel, and I think people should still have their highlights on there, but like you show a really nice balance. So I think that's really important and really great.
Thank you, Nat. I try.
No, so she's an angel. She's an angel, babe. So being where you kind of are now, you said you've stepped into your 30s. What does health mean to you now? So before, you were kind of talking about when you were younger. I think when we are younger, health can be perceived in so many different ways. Yeah. Whether it be, having a six pack, or whether it be in a certain weight on the scales or whatever. So what does health mean to you now as Vicky Patterson?
I think health when you're younger is so intrinsically linked to an aesthetic. Like for me, I know that I believed like if I could just get to like the skinniest I could, then I would be so attractive, and I would be so healthy and all the rest of it. And actually, for a lot of people, being that skinny isn't the healthiest thing for your frame. Like I was dangerously thin at one point, and it just didn't suit me frame. So for me, health now is, I suppose, an amalgamation of things. Like I hold things in high esteem that I didn't used to. So now if I wake up before my alarm clock goes off, I consider that health. It's so crazy, but I think it shows that you had a good night's sleep. You are excited for your day. You had like a good day the day before. Like I consider things like that to be health. So health to me is looking after yourself. And I suppose for me, it is getting a good night's sleep, or at least trying. I'm a chronic insomniac, so that one always slightly eludes me. But yeah, getting a good night's sleep, eating well when you can. Oh, I love cheese and donuts. So
cheese!
Yeah,
can't ever get rid of cheese, guys. Cheese and sweets for me.
Yeah, I'm just such a little piggy. Like I love treats. So I have to exercise in order to offset all my cheese and chocolate, which is absolutely fine. I do love Pilates and HIIT and things like that. Like, so yeah, I think health is a mixture of stuff, and it can mean different things to everybody. But for me, it's living a nice lifestyle. So making sure you get fresh air, making sure you're kind to people, if I don't get fresh air, if I don't have a workout, if I don't work hard, if I don't say my pleases and thank yous and treat everybody with respect, I don't sleep. Like that is the crux of it. I'll lie awake and agonize over that one interaction with a person where I wasn't my best self. And I know it can't be perfect all the time, but trying to certainly makes things easier. So health to me is a mixture of all those things. And I think it's ever evolving, and it's different to everybody. Like it's subjective. Some people might not think being kind affects how they go to sleep, but that's on them. So yeah, I think for me, exercise, fresh air, eating right when you can, but not being too hard on yourself. Definitely some cheese and chocolate and gin. That list gets longer every time I say it, but yeah, all of those. And being kind and getting a good night's sleep, that's health.
I love that. And I can completely relate and agree with all of that. I think I'm on a similar page to you there from my own point of view. And I know that, like you say, it's different for everybody, and you shouldn't really judge that. It is what it is to you, and that's great. But so as well, you've been in the media and the public eye now for over 10 years, which feels wild after we were having a little conversation off air before about, our uni years and things. And it seems wild to think that it's been 10 years.
I know, mate. I think some days I feel every single one of those 10 years. Like I feel them in my soul. I'm like, oh God, I'm so fucking old. But some days I wake up and I can't quite believe how quick the time's gone.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a conundrum. I'm super blessed to have parlayed what could have just been like a brief furore into the spotlight into something with as much longevity as I have. 10 years in the biz, and I'm hoping I'm going nowhere. They are
still killing it. Yeah, still killing it.
Still clinging on. So I'm really grateful, Nat. And I feel dead lucky that I am still here and I am doing something I love. So yeah, every day is a blessing for me.
And throughout those 10 years, I think, the media, you've been heavily exposed in the media, online, in publications. Does it ever get easier, with everything we've kind of just spoken about in mind, whether it be body image, your own self, kind of how you look at yourself? Does it ever get easier seeing yourself in these publications online, especially when you have kind of no control over what image or whatever is being used?
I don't think you'll ever get used to the fascination with you as a person. Like I very much see myself as, like, I don't differentiate. So I'm not like Vicky Pattison, the TV star, Vicky Pattison, the podcaster, Vicky Pattison, the influencer, whatever you want to. Then Vicky Pattison, the person. There is no disconnect for me. I'm one person. And I think that's probably due to the fact of growing up in reality TV. My first experience with the spotlight, that platform, fame, whatever you want to call it, was just being authentically myself.
Yeah.
Not always the best version, granted, but there's those pesky 20s for you again. So yeah, so I think growing up, having that as my start point, growing up, I didn't have like, hi everybody, and I'm Vicky Pattison. I didn't have a TV presenter self, and
you didn't like tailor yourself to the media kind of thing. It wasn't like, it was literally just you as a person growing up in the spotlight, essentially.
Exactly. So everyone has always seen me, the good, the bad, the ugly. And subsequently, when people do write these articles or people do troll me or pick me apart or write a bad review about my podcast, for example, it's me. It's not an image I've created that I'm able to say, they
switch
just
off
don't.
from.
Yeah, they just don't like that Vicky Patterson. They dislike me. And I take that very personally, which you'd think 10 years in the industry, I would have learned to develop a little bit of a thick skin, but it's so much more difficult than that when it's you they're coming for.
But as well, why should you have to develop the thick skin? Why can't people just not be dicks?
Be kind. I know. Honestly, mate, like I ask myself that question all the time. But, and again, I think we said at the start, like I'm a nightmare for taking my own advice. Like when it comes to like me mates, I'll sit on my soapbox and pontificate exactly how I think they should be going on and listen to me, right? I am terrible for it. I must be such a self-righteous arsehole. But then when it comes to me, I'm like, well, why don't they like me? And and I can't just say, oh, well, you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea and you can't please everyone and some people are just miserable. Like, I can't tell myself that enough, but it doesn't sink in. I'm hurt. I'm hurt when people write nasty things. I'm hurt when my life is the subject of debate. And I'm hurt when people take invasive and personal things about myself and make them their entertainment. It's just how it is. And I challenge anybody to not have to not have a bit of humanity in that circumstance. Like, you can't help it. We I think instinctively want to be liked. Like, I don't care what anybody says. Like,
everybody
it's
does.
so important. Yeah. So it's really difficult, Nat, to accept that part of my career. And I always will struggle with it on account of being a giant people pleaser, but also just because I'm human. And I don't know, I reckon it's probably the part of my job that I'll always hate. That's actually a strong word. Maybe dislike the most and always struggle to come to terms with. But I'm very blessed for the rest of it. So I consider taking that part on the chin a really small concession to have to make.
But I mean, that's the thing. I think you kind of almost felt the need to say, well, I know I've got a good life, but, you know, I'm just saying this isn't the great. But, you know, you shouldn't have to put up with people delving into your life and thinking that they can know absolutely everything about you or have an opinion on you. Because, I mean, I always say, and it's the most basic thing, like, these people wouldn't say these things to you in the street. So why say it on the internet? And I think actually just you sitting there saying, you know, I'm hurt as a person when you do these things or when you say these things or when you write these articles is important. And hopefully one person listening that may have ever thought about doing that or has done that, it might change their mindset because you are a real person. I think more and more we're seeing people, especially in the spotlight, opening up about this subject. And, you know, we've seen a lot of tragedy attached to it as well. And I think there's got to be a wake-up call sometime soon for people to stop with the negativity, please.
No, I know, you're so right. And I don't know what it will take for people to truly sit up and take notice and actually take ownership of their actions. Just this year, like, it was actually around the anniversary of Caroline's death. And everybody was, you know, back on the hashtag Be Kind bus, which they seem to completely forget for the rest of the year.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And I remember putting up something to that effect, and a bit of a memorial for Caroline, and somebody slid into my DMs with, like, quite frankly, and I won't repeat it because they do not deserve the airtime. They're clearly troubled. But one of the most heartbreaking, like, trolling experiences of my life. And I remember being so hurt by it, right, that I'm relatively resilient. I had to take a step back off social media. I cried to my sister, like, sobbing about how people, not because it was me, but just how could people be so cruel? Like, when this moment was fresh in everybody's minds as well, like, the gravity of their words, like, and their actions should surely still be ringing in their ears, and they went and did this. Like, I was just so shocked that people don't learn. And I think that's what I was crying about. Like, I was just really upset. So I don't know, mate. I don't know what it's going to take for people to learn. Like, and this is such a small minority.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry if everybody listening to this is really lovely and trolling anybody would never occur to them, because I know most people are like that. But to the small minority that think their words don't hurt, that they don't have gravity, that people aren't going to read them, like, just know that they fucking do. And it's weak sauce. It's 2021. We're all better than hiding behind a keyboard and saying something that you haven't got the balls to say to someone's face. Just fucking do better.
That is exactly it. And I think this is the thing. I think it makes you angry. I think, you know, the way you were kind of explaining that, it makes you angry to think, why are people still not listening?
I just don't know what it'll take, Nat. Does that make sense?
I just hope that, I mean, again, I said this kind of before, I hope that, you know, in people talking about it and in people being open and, you know, even conversations like this help. We shouldn't have to. I mean, there's so many things recently we've seen, documentaries, shows around, you know, these tragedies that are happening daily in people's lives. And I really hope that people start to wake up to it. There isn't an answer to it. I think we'll be talking about this for a long time, unfortunately. And I think, you know, you'll know yourself through kind of this podcast, it's been a theme throughout, because the people we speak to are in the media in different forms, and it's definitely a running theme, and we can't get away from it. And I just hope one day that we do.
No, I think as well, like, if I was going to play devil's advocate for a second, I'd say, like, we are in the middle of like a seriously testing time for everybody. And I do think the COVID-19 pandemic is going to have a seriously long tail for this country. Even when we are allowed to go back out and see relatives and hug friends and all the rest of it, there's going to be a lot of underlying mental health issues that are as a result of what we've had to go through over the last 12 months. And I think for some people that manifests itself in a really ugly way. Some people are super honest. Like for me, I know I'll be like, oh God, I'm really excited about going out to a beer garden and hugging everybody, but at the same time I'm a little bit nervous that I'm going to be weird.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's a bit scary.
Isn't it? And I think like I'll say it, so I'll take away its power. Like I'll tell everybody, I'll say on social media, like, I'm really scared I'm going to be weird and lick someone's eye. Like I will, I'll be odd. And it's fine. Like once you get that off your chest, you're okay.
Yeah.
But you know, there's people who it sits and stews and it manifests.
They hold these like insecurities and these worries and and
they project. And the way a lot of people, not everybody, but the way a lot of people project is via social media. And they see someone who evidently looks like they have their life all together. I don't care if it's me, if it's Stacey Solomon, if it's Holly Willoughby, if it's Fern McCann. They see someone and they think, I'll take it out on her. I'll take it out on her because it looks like she's got everything I want. Yeah. She's never known struggle. Well, you're fucking wrong. And it's so frustrating, but that's how it works. It must be. And they project their anger, their fear, their uncertainty, and all these things onto this person that to them doesn't have a care in the world, doesn't have feelings, is just an image. And it's just mindless and cruel. And I think if you just take a step back from the keyboard, from the phone, from whatever, and realize that there's a person on the other side of it, then maybe you will understand how hurtful your words can be. So I can understand how it happened, how it's been so prevalent this year. But it doesn't excuse it. It doesn't. I don't know. It's come from people being scared, I think, and being a bit bitter and sad. But I just think rather than blaming other people, maybe just take a look. And we've all had those days. Just manifest it in a different way. Go for a walk. Go have a workout. Tell your pals. Whenever I tell my mates,
talk to your friends about it.
Like if ever I say it to my girls, like, I'm having such a fucking shit day. I feel like everybody's got kids and is engaged and I'm still sitting in my little flat in Brentwood. Can someone please like tell me I'm not alone? And once you say that, like your mates are like, oh, don't be so stupid. Like, no.
It's like a water level. I always feel like it's up here. You're up here with like these stresses and these worries, and then you talk.
You're drowning in it.
It starts to go down. It starts to like decrease, and it's like, and then like even say if it is something that at the time, like you can look back on things you've said that have made you feel a certain way, and you think, oh God, that was silly of me and whatever, that was stupid. But at the time, it didn't feel stupid. But then when you said it out loud to your friends, you're like, oh God, yeah, if you would tell me this, I'd be like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. You know, it is real to you. And I'm not devaluing like your thoughts and your feelings, because they are completely valid. But yeah, like definitely speaking to someone has, as you know, people have spoken about, it has huge impacts on your mental health, on the things that you kind of hold in. Just speak about them and let them kind of go. But I mean, I feel like we could talk about trolling for I could go on. I'm holding myself back from saying more, I'm not gonna lie, Vicky, because it's such a touching subject to everybody, I think, and I think it's important to speak about. People need to know their actions, their words have actions and power, like you say. So I hope that anybody that would think about doing that listening would think twice, for sure.
I'm sure we don't have any trolls listening.
I'm sure we
really
don't.
Lovely
our lovely PLT babes, definitely not. But yeah, 100%. So something else that's been picked up in the media recently, which I'm sure you are aware, is your relationship. Let's go on to the positives. Let's go on to some positives. So you and Erkan,
me little heart stopped in.
Oh God! I didn't
know what you were going to say. I was like, "What have I done?"
What have I missed? I haven't opened up the Daily Mail this morning. God,
I haven't Googled myself this morning. I thought I was like in trouble.
Do you know what? It's nice. I think the kind of press. What I'm seeing, not just the press, social media. I think I'm seeing lots of chat about your relationship again. People are very obsessed and want to know everything about it. But from what I've seen, it's a lot of positives. So tell us a little bit about everything. You're buying a house. How are you guys? How's life generally?
Honestly, I mean, this is the little bit where I can sound a bit smug, so I might want to reel myself in.
Go on.
I think I'm kind of like that. I think I'm that notoriously unlucky in love girl, aren't I? And everybody's kind of seen my relationship breakdowns have unfortunately been very public. So to see me finally happy with a very nice normal man is, I think, gives a lot of people hope, a lot of ladies. And I like that. Like, I don't mind being like a sort of beacon for single women everywhere. Like, if it can fucking happen for me, it can happen for you, lass. Like, I'll wear that crown well. So I think that's probably where the obsession comes from. But ultimately, like, I just feel really happy at the minute. And I do credit Erkan an awful lot with this really positive change in me. Like, you always like say, oh God, I'm always going to stay myself in a relationship, you know, like no one's going to change me. I'm a strong, independent woman. We can't help but become we change slightly in relationships, and ultimately, like, you become a little bit like your partner. You spend so much time with them. Like, there's a saying that you become very similar to the 5 people you spend most of your time with. And I've always found that whenever I'm going out with someone, I adopt some of their characteristics. I'm obviously just a very fickle person, but with Erkan, like, I've found such an equal. He's so kind and so loyal and so hardworking and just really humble. I've found myself adopting those qualities more, and actually, like, certain partners I've had in the past, and I won't name names. Like, I'm sure we've all got chapters we don't want to read out loud.
Yeah.
But I found certain partners I had were entitled and ungrateful and potentially I was a little bit mean. So I found those qualities were exacerbated in myself, and I became a version of myself I didn't like as much. Still me, just with this really nasty edge. And the being with Erkan has really turned things around. Like, I look at me life with these like really fresh, excited eyes, like his eyes. Like, every job I get, like he's so excited for, like, oh my God, no way, you're working with him. We've got that in the
happy.
Yeah. He's like, we've got a fucking flash mop in the cupboard, Vic. I'm like, yes, we have, babe. I guess we have got a flash mop. And he's like, no, Hartley's jelly. Like, we love that jelly. Like, he's just so excited and kind of, like, subsequently I'm really excited and kind again. And it's so easy to be in this job for a long time and kind of become a little bit complacent. Like, oh yeah, that job. What the hell? Like, those jobs are amazing. So it's lovely to be with someone as excited, enthusiastic about things as I was and am again. He's really injected that into us, and because of that, I'm so passionate about my work. I'm able to then like draw a line when it's finished and be like, I had a great day. I was nice to everybody. The brand's really happy. Like I smashed it. Like, and come home and then be like, now I have a really nice evening with a really nice man. Because I did that and we chat about
that happiness. Yeah.
So no, mate, we are super happy. He brings out all of the nicest things in me. Oh, do you know the only bad thing?
Go on, come on. There's a bad thing. What is it? Let's hear it.
Right. In a relationship, I don't care how nice you both are, right? You could be like Mr. and Mrs. Nice 2021, right? There's always one who's a little bit more of a dickhead. Always.
That's defo me, yeah.
Well, for years, I've been able to be like, it's definitely not me because look who I'm going out with, right? I've fucking passed the vibe check every time because of my fella. And now I'm the dickhead because Erkan is so nice. So now
Join
that's the only...
Vicky.
Yeah. So now I'm like, oh, you're so wonderful. I'm 110% the dickhead every time.
Oh.
So yeah, it's... The only downfall is he's so great, I am now, by default, the dickhead.
Do you know what? I take that down for my jaw's hurting from smiling. You guys have got your house coming. You're moving in this week. Like, how excited are you for all of this?
We're so excited, mate. Honestly, like, I'm really happy I've managed to find like a square of the flat that's not completely just taken over by boxes because the rest of the place is such a shithole. I'm super stressed, which I know I don't seem. I think it's all bubbling away under the surface and it's going to eventually overspill in front of everybody when the movers are here and I'm going to look like an utter lunatic. I'm just dreading it. We're dead excited. We've kind of been looking for a house for about a year now. We moved back to my flat in Brentwood at the start of lockdown, and it had been a long time since I've lived here. I'd lived in a house up north, obviously where I'm from in Newcastle for a while, and I'd lived in centre of London when I was kind of going through me breakup and really busy with work and didn't really have a proper base. I just rented somewhere and I was trying to find me feet. So we've lived here for about a year and it's been so lovely, but being back in the flat with another person, when I last lived here, I was on my own. I've really realised we just needed some more space. So yeah, we've been looking for something for around a year and we've had a couple of disappointments. And I think a lot of people can kind of relate to that in COVID. Like the whole buying a house process has just been made doubly hard. So we've kept the search pretty quiet because there's been a lot of tears and a lot of moments where it's ours and we've got a house and then it's fallen apart. So I kept my cards really close to my chest with this one. And yeah, it just because I didn't want to have to be disappointed in front of everybody.
Yeah.
But no, it's finally happening. The house is ours. My designer's working on like all of our different rooms. I'm getting my beds made. Everything's really excited. I think it's going to be like a long old journey. I think I'm going to be sleeping on a mattress on the floor for a while, but it's all part of the fun, isn't it?
It is. And so are we going to be seeing some of this house on social media or are you keeping it under wraps? Because I mean, I'm excited for the interior already. I want a home account, Vicky.
Mate, you will get what you want. Honestly, I'm telling you, a home account absolutely happening. Like loads of people in the DMs yesterday, I put my post up and they were like, will we see a home account? I was like, fucking hell, bitch, I've already got one.
I've secured the handle already. Instagram, no, it's coming. Don't you worry, honeys. It's arriving.
Did it straight away. And the annoying thing is, right, Jake Quickenden, my friend, like absolutely love him. It's so similar to the name of his home account. And I had to like message him and check because I was like, if I was Sophie, who's obviously his partner, I was like, I'd be fucking fuming. Like, I'd be going to the end like, this girl thinks she can take my home name. I was like, so I'm just messaging to apologise. And he's like, you are crackers. It's absolutely fine. So we have got one. It's very similar to Jake and Sophie's. So huge apologies to them.
There's a little bit of a hint if anyone wants to go and start finding it there.
Bit of a hint, but we're just dead excited. I mean, I'm
Great.
so nosy about people's like interiors and home renovations and stuff. So no, I'd never keep this from you guys. I will be probably trying to be a little bit sneaky because you know she's going to want to like okay at home or something. So you won't see it all. But yeah, I will be being my usual oversharing self.
Oh, great. Well, we cannot wait. I mean, like I said, I love home accounts. I love looking at people's interior. I think everybody does. It's what is that saying? Like, you just love looking into people's lives and into that detail and like saying, oh yeah, I like that lamp. I'll go get one of them.
It's the 2021 like equivalent of curtain twitching, like following someone's home account. It absolutely is. It's a socially acceptable curtain twitch. I live for it. I'm such a nosy fucker. No,
I'm
don't
right there with
apologise.
I'm right there with you. I'll be following the account for sure.
Yay.
And Vicky, I mean, it's been an exciting, although, you know, COVID aside and everything, it's been an exciting year for you in the past year or so. You've been so busy with work. I mean, right now you're about to be moving house and here you are working away, absolutely killing it, doing so much. So what is next for you? What's coming up for the future? What can we look forward to?
So I'm always scared about this, but you've promised me if I say something that I shouldn't say, we can take it out. So I'm going to say it and then run it past my agents anyway.
Okay, let's do it.
So we've been working hard for about a year on the podcast, and it's grown into something like I'm really proud of it.
You should be.
Thank you. I've loved being able to work throughout lockdown and being able to do it remotely has given us like a real focus and purpose, which I think is important, especially for someone like me who just totally is defined by our career. So we are looking at turning Vicky Patterson's Secret 2 into a book, which is very exciting.
Oh my God, guys!
So that is
so exciting.
I know, we had all meetings with the ghostwriters very recently.
Wow.
I can almost hear my agent and publicist in the back of my mind like, what are you fucking doing? This is not going to go out.
Do you know what? If you're not allowed to say it, what we'll do is we'll just bleep that little bit out and we'll just keep everyone wondering. We'll have the little teasers, but we'll bleep that bit. We'll make it nice. It'll be great.
But you know, you've got, maybe we'll be so far down the line when this comes out, like I kind I'm sure it'll be fine. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. I'm on a TV show in sort of like October time that's coming out, which is really nice. Actually, I can't say any more about that because I really will get in trouble, but we'll leave that as it is. Back on TV. We'll just leave it as back on TV.
Back on TV. Can't wait.
Back on TV, the book. What else? Do you know what, right? I think it's been a hard year for TV and a hard year for people in my industry, but through social media and my podcast, I've managed to keep super busy. And I'm really grateful for that. And I'm really excited to see what the next step is. I do want some time off. I'm not going to lie. Like, I've worked relentlessly. Like,
you need to.
Yeah, I see my mates complaining about furlough and I think, shut up, you lazy
babes,
gal.
I'd love a bit of that now. Yeah, I'd love a bit of that.
I'm dying for it. I'm not down the mines. Like, I'm not exactly like an NHS nurse, but I haven't stopped. So I'd love a bit of furlough.
Yeah.
So I think once we're allowed, me and my lovely partner are kind of going to go on some fancy holidays.
Oh, come on. Where would you go? Where would you book first?
I mean, it depends where Big Bad Bozza lets we go, doesn't it? But
Come on, Boris, lad.
Yeah, go on, Boris. I want to drink overpriced cocktails in somewhere really fancy, like in Europe. So, yeah, I'm thinking Mykonos, to be honest.
Ooh.
I'm going to be that. I'm going to lower the tone in Mykonos, in Greece's south of France. I'm going to really lower it. I'm going to be slut dropping all over. Best way
to do it. Best way to do it, darling.
That's the plan.
We can't wait, Vicky. I know that whatever you go on to be doing next is going to be so exciting. Like I say, you should be so proud of your podcast. We are absolutely huge fans here. It's like a big family podcasting, isn't it? It's like one family to the next. But super proud of you. And I think congratulations on the book. That is going to be so, so exciting. And I know that when things do go back to normal, you know, TV is picking up, it's going to be so busy for you. So you better get that time off somewhere. And I mean, you're moving house. So take some time for yourself because I've just moved recently myself and I know how stressful it is. So make sure you do take some time for yourself. Now, I've got one final question for you, Vicky.
Okay.
One final one. Just before you go. So if you could go back and tell young Vicky P one piece of key advice, what would it be?
Oh my God. So first of all, I would love to give young Vicky a cuddle. I feel like she really needs a hug. I'm so torn. Like, my head is just full of advice about like fake tan and terrible matched hair extensions at the moment. But I want something more profound. Yeah. Do you know, honestly, growing up in the public eye like I did, I found really difficult at times, and I often hid it under like false bravado. So a lot of people didn't realize just how much I was struggling. I found being thrust into like the limelight on Geordie Shore so just really hard in retrospect. Yeah. And there was lots of difficult moments for me that were too much for a young girl, in my opinion. And one of the mistakes I made was really early doors. I started to lose myself in the construct of reality TV, and I became like a caricature of myself, vaguely reminiscent of me, but ultimately exaggerated. And it affected everything, my relationships with my family, my relationship with my mum, and I lost real sight of who I wanted to be because I sacrificed respect for attention. And if I could tell any young lass, myself included, it would be never, ever sacrifice respect for attention, because it's not worth it. And the last 10 years of my life, I have spent every day trying to claw back the respect I want from people. Through working hard, through being the first to turn up, by being the most polite, by being super grateful. And it takes all of that just to undo some of the memories people have of me from those moments when I was so young. So remember who you are, have faith in that, and never ever sacrifice the respect you have yourself for the attention of others.
Oh, I think that there is a lovely end to the podcast. And I think, Vicky, just from my side, I just want to say you were so young. Like, I hope you forgive. Like, I mean, you the way you look at it will be so different to someone else, you know?
Yeah,
the way you look at certain situations is going to be so different. But I hope you forgive your younger self for whatever she did that you didn't like. You are an amazing person. You've been an absolute pleasure to get to know today. I'm so glad we got to do this podcast, and I hope we get to do it in person one day. I've loved every second. My jaw's killing from smiling. And I mean, we've gone through the motions. We've had the emotional moments, we've had funny moments. So it's been great. Thank you so much, Vicky.
You are so welcome, Nat. Honestly, welcome to the Vicky Pattison roller coaster. This is just a normal hour for me. I go through all of these things. You're so great at this. Thank you so much for having me. To you and all the PLT and the Social Setup guys. I hope you have a great day. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Vicky. This has been Vicky Pattison on the PLT podcast, everybody. Woo! We're done.